History Book of Dinosaurs.
Well, hello everyone, my name is USS History, and today we are covering a pretty wild, and I mean wild subject. Yeah, you know how eondude keeps mentioning he's working on World War I? Well, if you're watching this and it's still not there, that means the Second World War video somehow got published before the first one. Wild, I know, but womp womp. Anyways, what are we talking about today? The Second World War, based on what I said earlier, but let's just dive into it at this point. I might as well not describe it. Everybody knows World War II. Anyways, let's go. Now, what's the year? Why, it's simple. The year is 1931. Now, why did I choose this year? It's a year after the Great Depression starts. It's a pretty nice starting point when you think about it. Now, we have quite a few people that are just being wild. First, we have some random Italian that's employing a new ideology called fascism. Japan just trying to conquer the Pacific. The usual, I guess. America being America. Britain literally ruling a fifth of the earth. France doing whatever it's doing. Switzerland being about as neutral as you can get. Austria and Hungary being separated. The Baltics being bullied. Some of Ukraine and Belarus. And the Soviet Union making genocide normal. Now let's head to Germany. What is going on in Germany? Simple. Depression. Now, who is this man in Germany that's going wild? Well, since I can't say his name on YouTube without the risk of this video either being demonetized or deleted, we'll just call him by the Austrian painter. Now, this Austrian painter is a man of many pasts. He had an abusive father, a mother who died that he loved very much. Constantly being severely when he did some dumb stuff. Tried to go into art school twice in a row, and failed miserably. And of course, being angry at Jews and other races that weren't Aryan after the First World War. What's this guy doing? He's entering politics. In fact, he's already been in politics for a while now. What party did he choose? Well, this fascist party called the Nazi Party. Why? I don't know. I guess it just had the same beliefs as he does. But in 1933, he became chancellor. Now, what did he do over the coming years? A. Figure out tanks with Russia. That's actually a thing. Like, they were just testing tanks. B. Rebuild the army. Yeah, they decided to start breaking the Treaty of Versailles. First, by building up an army. Second, having tanks. And an air force. And a navy. Sorry, better air force and navy. And of course, annex Austria and Czechoslovakia. Yeah, they actually did that. Now, what's going on in Italy? Well, they're trying to reform the Roman Empire under one random guy named Mussolini, who was bald. And another person in Japan that I don't know the name of, but he's just doing stuff for the empire. They all collectively agreed, yeah, we won't mess with each other. Italy's weak, Japan's across an entire continent, and Germany's has a leader that's mentally insane. So let's just skip straight to the point. Somewhere in the late 1930s, before September 1st, 1939, the good old Russians and Germans decided to do a pretty nice thing. Have a non-aggression pact with each other. They don't mess with each other, they won't mess with them. Now, it's now September 1st, 1939. It's a normal day in most of the world until it happened. German troops marched through the border between Poland and Germany and began an invasion. Russia also pushing in. Over the coming 30 days, they would keep trying to push push and push the Germans and Russians out of there. However, they were practically crushed by the sheer power of the Russian and German armies. This was the first straw that broke the camel's back that resulted in the beginning of the Second World War. After this, Britain, France, and a few other countries, except America, because, well, they were being neutral, kind of like Switzerland, declared war on the Germans. Italy was declared on by the rest of the Allies. Russia was just happy that they got some land, and Japan was wondering what was going on. Ironically, the Japanese Empire and Poland actually were chill with each other. So, yeah, wild, yes I know, but who cares? Now, over the coming months and subsequent year, Belgium and the Netherlands would be invaded. And France built this thing called the Marginal Line, where the Germans and French originally border. However, just like what the Germans did in the First World War, they did something wild. Go around. Yeah, I'm amazed France didn't learn their lesson and fortify the entire border, including the Netherlands and the Belgian and other various borders, but womp womp. So in 1940, Germany, well, in the many World War II means, basically toured France with their tanks and primarily invaded. After they won France, they created a puppet state in France called Vichy France, which is basically a funny way of saying Nazi Paris. Now, let's see what's going on in Italy. They own Albania now, so that's nice, I guess. And they're trying to fight Greece. Just like that, bruh. You lost half your army to the Greeks. Dang. Alright, let me just grab Germany over here and just... yeah. That ought to do it. Now, as for what's going on in Eastern Europe, or just Soviet Union, starving some of its people for no reason. Basically doing agricultural reformation. And now it's 1941. What's going on in Europe? Germany, why are you in Russia? Oh my god, they just invaded Russia. So Germany begins its infamous Operation Barbarossa with its many tanks. However, their tanks were not only outgunned, but outnumbered, so they couldn't really do much except attempt to fight. Of course, Barbarossa fails and the Germans began falling. Italy was failing miserably in every other place it tried to invade. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor and, basically is the reason the Pacific Front started, and everything else just kept happening. By 43, Germany was already losing on the Eastern Front, and soon on the Western. Because Italy has just been disintegrated into the Allies' side, because, well, they surrendered and started to be willing to cooperate. Now, as for the shenanigans in the Japanese Empire's area, ships kept sinking and blowing up because the Americans were sending in planes, boats going gun blazing, including many such as the Johnston, which sank, shooting its guns to the bitter end, and had a shell that looks eerily similar to a freaking shell from the Yamato. Yes, the Yamato. Shot at the USS Johnston. And it survived the shot by the looks of the wreck, so, nice. Now, as for the shenanigans going on in Europe again, it's now the good old year of 1944, and, oh hey, the Allies just had a successful journey in D-Day. That's pretty cool, I guess. So anyways, now that France is under French control again, and Italy is on their Allies' side, and Switzerland is doing whatever they're doing, being neutral, same with Sweden, soon Russia just pushes in. So do the Allies, basically breaking apart Germany.
Wandering in the shade, not too old, not too young, never not again, dancing with the moonlight, so we're far away, I can hear your call. I'm out of my head.
And by April 30th of 1940, Adolfo's dead. Yes, I'm finally exposing his name. His wife was also dead, and he had to poison his dog. That's a sad way to go, getting poisoned. But the entirety of Europe's issues are gone. Now it's just bitterness between the Soviets. Now as for the Pacific Front, Now what's America been doing? Creating a bomb? What type of bomb? An atomic bomb? Now what exactly is atomic bomb? Basically, nuclear fission plus high-grade explosives equals damn, that's a pretty big explosion right there. And that was the Trinity test, tested in late July of 1945. Now, what shenanigans are going on in Japan now? Oh, Russia just entered Manchuria. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna end well now. As the Russians and Americans start pushing, somebody's like, if we invade the mainland, we're gonna lose millions of lives. Why don't we just use the bomb? The what?
Of Hiroshima. So, it is just after July 1945, around August. This machine, the Americans call the nuclear bomb, America had just done their successful test on nuclear weapons, called the Trinity test, with their first nuclear bomb, the Trinity. If you watch the Oppenheimer movie, you'll see what I mean. Anyways, the Americans told them bad things will happen if they don't, and emphasis on surrender, unconditionally. So, yeah, they declined it. So, this is what happened on August 6, 1945. 8:15 a.m. Kids were walking to school, probably eating breakfast with them, since, they were probably running a little late. Parents were probably going off to work or staying home to look after the house. Some were going to the local coffee shops to get a cup of coffee and some food for breakfast. Others were just taking a nice bike ride around, and others were taking a nice jolly old walk. 8:13 a.m. Air raid sirens are sounded as they notice a B-29 flying in the sky. A minute later, they call it off as it looks like a spy plane. No, plane that will bomb them. Anyways, some people noticed the plane and were wondering why is there one of them. Then at around 8:15, the bomb dropped. Over the next 43 seconds, when it got to the lowest altitude it could without going boom, its mechanics started going down and uranium bullet was shot into some other stuff, and a chain reaction occurred that couldn't be stopped. Here's to explain it in one way. One person, hey yo, that one kind of looked like a horse. Another person, hey yo, that one kind of looked like a giraffe. The third one, hey yo, that one kind of looked like a mushroom. At 8:16 a.m., a mushroom? The bomb goes off and on August 15th, the Japanese finally surrendered after 2 atomic attacks destroyed 2 cities, being Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The wars ended. Now, there's no more World War wars as of now, but who knows? One might pop up because of the United States. Realistically.
I'm trying to explain to you.
Whatever, no one cares.
Mr. Zelensky, it's very important that you understand what we're trying to tell you here, in that...
Whatever.
Can you show a little gratitude?
Whatever, who care? Who care? My name is J.D. Vance. Who cares?
How about instead of insulting us, you say thank you? How about you say thank you for everything we've done?
Say thank you. I don't care. I don't care.
Say thank you.
No. No, thank you. What was that?
Now, what happened because of this one Austrian painter who got a little mad he couldn't get into art school? 80 million dead. 80 freaking million dead. Most of which came from the Soviet Union, since it just kept throwing numbers. And 200,000 getting killed in the nuclear attacks alone. Not even counting the people that would slowly die within the days. Actually, it does count it, because Yeah. But what we learn from this: A, sometimes people take rejections very, very terribly. And I mean very terribly. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you truly enjoyed it, why not hit that like button? Just saying, it's right there, and if you truly like the video, please just press it. You don't need to subscribe, that's completely optional. Same with liking, but if you liked it, it's advised. Anyways, I've been USS History, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.